What is an important piece of advice you can give for those moving into the real world? Just because you have the money to buy something doesn't mean that you can afford it. I think quote that was said in different subreddit fits here. If you can afford something just barely, you can't afford it. The intensity of your social life will likely change, and this is mostly a good thing. But be prepared for it. Being outside of school means you are free from a lot of the weird drama that comes with doing everything in a closed system with roughly the same people. There is still drama, but you can almost always escape it because your life is divided now. You don't live with all your friends and work with them, monsieur. On the other hand, making new social connections is a new challenge because you aren't thrown into a closed system with people all at your stage of life with many of the same problems, but making friends definitely happens. For me, wherever I was in life, it always took me about 1 year to make one new close friend. Patience is key. I would say you make fewer social connections, but a lot of them are of higher quality. A last piece of advice: don't view work as your only source, or even your primary source. For friends, dates, and hookups, try to keep part of your social life separate. College is the last time in life where everyone you know your age is roughly doing the same thing and experiencing the same challenges. From here on out, everyone's paths will differ, and that's okay. Some of your friends will get married or have children. Some won't. Work experiences and careers will be vastly different. You stop moving in lockstep with your peers. Be very careful of being dragged into any sort of workplace drama, politics. That friendly coworker who is dishing you all the dirt as you learn the ropes is looking for allies. You have no obligation to hang out with these people in a social setting. The person that makes a beeline to you to give your all the inside dirt is the office asshole. Never stop learning. Keep up with your old hobbies and interests, and pick up new ones. Takes classes, free ones, and pay for those you can afford. Join groups for people with your interests so you can learn from them and learn from teaching. The monsieur. I think it's just as important to avoid complacency. It is incredibly addictive, and if you're not someone who has a surplus of self-discipline, reversing the bad habit is going to be a bitch. Letting yourself having lazy days is fine and healthy, but keep yourself in check. They can quickly become the norm, monsieur. Have a budget and stick to it. Know the difference between wanting something and needing something. Don't forget to add a treat yourself line in the budget. Don't focus on what other people have to. Stay in your lane and focused on you and yours. Get a cast iron skillet. Cast iron skillet is the most useful thing I own. Look after your teeth because they are expensive to fix. Toothpaste. A good toothbrush and dental floss are cheap, so use them well. Look after your credit rating. It is difficult to fix when it goes wrong, and also remember that things do go wrong, so perhaps have a small contingency available if you can. Learn to save and budget so you know how much you can use and save comfortably. Be good to yourself and look after mental health. Greater than look after your teeth. Even if you think they're fine, they might not be. At 39 I'm paying the price. Never had any real problems, but proper dental care was never instilled in me, and by the time I realized that it was a hard habit to break or make, and it's gradual. Think about your mouth situation. I didn't realize how bad mine had gotten until I started getting better. You're not supposed to bleed. Your teeth should not be loose like at all. Hot and cold shouldn't bother you. You should be able to eat anything you want. I didn't realize how much I had compromised until I really started to actively think about it. Brush twice a day and floss once a day. It's okay to miss a day here and there, but it needs to happen. Dentist at least once a year. Twice is better. Yeah, problem is, it was the dentist that fucked up my mouth to begin with. If your dentist has long curling hairs coming from the tip of his nose, find a different dentist. Even though money goes in and out of your account automatically doesn't mean you never have to look at your bank account. Just a quick daily check of your balance and spendings will keep you out of a lot of troubles. This is an excellent tip. Money management feels completely different when it's an actual number and not an estimate in your head. It's okay to say no. It's just a job. There will be others. Don't try fitting in if it requires you to break your personal values. Being respectful and polite is cool. Great comment. I feel as if a lot of people can struggle with simply saying no because they believe it is implied as mean. But in reality, it shouldn't be. Don't just react to things. Think critically. Take a few seconds to analyze situations and come up with conclusions. Always be self-aware and never let people use your emotions against you. When furnishing your home with stuff you find on the side of the road, it's fine to take hard things. Tables, art, etc. But never pick up soft things. Upholstered chairs, carpets. Even with hard things you have to be careful. Lots of places critters can hide even in tables. If you're unhappy with your job, put tons of effort into finding a new one ASAP. Also learn to recognize toxic work environments. I once saw a guy quit his job in under 4 hours. Just notepad right out. A few years back I saw a dude quit immediately after a bad meeting. It was about 10 tech people in meeting. Boss outlines vision of new product. Tech dude explains why this is not a good idea. Boss has a rant about how he can't have negative people on the team and maybe tech dude needs to step out of the meeting while they finish up. Tech dude leaves room, goes to his desk and writes resignation. Boss was surprised. Why, you quitting? Quote, tech dude, you don't want my input. You don't respect my views. Assholes are always really surprised when people leave them as here. They can't believe it. The luxury of knowing you can walk into another job. Unfortunately, so many can't afford to do this. The real world is actually really small. Be careful of burning bridges because you'd be surprised how easy it is to run into someone years and years after you last saw them as here. Here's the biggest mindfuck I've had related to this. I moved to a different town across the country for a new job. My current landlord is the mother of a girl I studied with in university on a separate continent. My rent is cheap. I live 8 minutes drive from work. The neighborhood is reasonably safe. Yet, it's very accessible, which means I can invite friends to come over. I'd be fucked out of the perfect place to live had I been mean to this girl. When I was in uni I was super stressed. People would always say to me, if you're this stressed now, wait until you get out into the real world. I've been out in the real world for 2 decades now and it's been so much easier than uni. Go out there and enjoy post-uni life. Greater than, if you're this stressed now, wait until you get out into the real world. This, by the way, is one of the worst things you can say. If someone is convinced that their situation will never get better, they'll look for other ways out. Ugh, my parents said that shit all the time. They also say shit like college will be the best years of your life because then you'll be in the real world where you'll be burdened with responsibilities all the time. If you're the kind of person who says stuff like this, it's time to reevaluate the way you live your life. Life isn't all fun and games. But it isn't supposed to be an endless torrent of stress and misery either. Consistently live below your means, save and invest the difference. Get a raise. Cool. Don't change your fucking lifestyle at all and just save the extra income. Edit. In typical Reddit fashion, my comment was taken 100% literally. No shit, you should reward yourself every now and then. Or use that raise to improve your life if it's ass. I'm talking about the people with already comfortable lifestyles upgrading for the sole reason of having more money now. At the same time, don't be afraid to splurge every now and then. Drive a beater car. Upgrade to good car made within the last 10 years. Get a nicer pair of shoes. Get some new bed sheets. Invest in your hobbies. Don't go overboard but let yourself have some fun and invest in current self as well as your future self. Along this same line, Never buy a brand new car. A 1-year-old car, still under warranty, with very low miles will be sometimes half the cost. Not everyone is going to like you regardless of what you do. Trust your gut instinct. It's called that for a reason. Take no shit but do no harm. Meaning don't be a dick but put people in their place when necessary. Greater than not everyone is going to like you regardless of what you do. Yes, this is so true. You try to be friendly and polite with everyone you meet. Some will dislike you for being too friendly. Are you knowledgeable about a certain topic and like to share that knowledge? Some will call you pretentious. Do you like helping people whenever they have problems? Some will think you are only doing it in order to get favors from the monsieur. I recently got a guy to hate me in a class because I was trying to help out my classmates. And he assumed I was just trying to stroke my own ego or something. Can't win them all, right? If anything, that says more about him than you. Legal and illegal are not the same as right and wrong. Don't expect things to work out in your favor just because you did the right thing. There is no invisible hand that punishes the bad and rewards the good. It is especially important to not confuse right and legal when describing directions. A long commute is rarely worth it. This has gotten a bit buried under the other responses, but this is absolutely the truth. I had an hour-long commute last year, then had the opportunity to take a new job 20 minutes away, but with a significant pay cut. I took the new job, and life is so much better now that I don't have to drive an hour to get to work. Save all you can. Do your best to try to keep at least a minimum $200 in a reserve for, in case shit happens, money. This is good advice. I would go as far as to say minimum $1,000 of in case shit happens money. I would too, but sometimes even $200 isn't feasible. Don't waste your time worrying if you can help it. It just drags you down and makes you weaker. Hit the gym when you can. Boy, will it make you feel better. And smile. Make a conscious effort to smiling more. It'll be reciprocated and it will make you feel good. Apply the 10th of October 10 rule. Asterisk, will it matter in 10 minutes? Asterisk, will it matter in 10 days? Asterisk, will it matter in 10 years? Really helps put a problem into perspective. What if you don't know whether it will or won't? Then don't worry. Time will tell. Edit. First ever silver. Thanks. There will be someone who will hate your guts for no particular reason. Even if you are friendly with them. Or even more so, it will not be your fault. Agreed. Also, something I've been learning in the last couple of years, and it's taken me until my late 20s, early 30s, is that some people are literally just horrible, toxic, whatever, and that's what they are. And not a thing you do or say will change that. Don't waste the energy. Everyone makes mistakes. There is no real point in constantly trying to avoid novel mistakes. Instead, accept that you are human, and instead make sure to learn from your mistakes when they happen. This isn't a mistake. It's a happy little accident. Bob Ross. Edit. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but huge thanks for the gold. Stranger. It is my first, and it means a ton. Edit 2. Such a huge amount of good comments in this thread. I have read almost all of them, and I recommend people to do the same. If something is too good to be true, it probably is. People will try to take advantage of you, and you'll probably fall for it sometimes. It's how you learn. Don't be too down on yourself, just learn from it and move on. You don't have to know how to do everything. Knowing how to learn, and being willing to put the effort into learning it, is more important than knowing any one skill. Your attitude is more important than aptitude. An employer can teach you the specific skills needed, but if you aren't a person that people want to be around, then why would they bother? I was looking for this comment. Unless you do something very technical where you actually do have to be super smart to do the job, well, the majority of your career success is going to come from being liked by the people who matter. That doesn't mean sucking up to your boss like a creep, just being a generally pleasant person. Taking some pride in your work and not moaning or trying to avoid responsibility will get you a long way. Once you leave school, things like this usually matter a lot more than your grades or qualifications. Also, don't put too much faith in internet career advice. There are millions of different jobs and even more different workplaces, and all of them will have their own culture. You need to understand the one you're in and act accordingly. Being the guy who's obsessed with corporate speak and performance targets in a laid-back environment is going to set you back just as much as being too casual in a formal one. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.